Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Matt Reeves to the stage.
Well, the thing that blew me away about Rise, first of all, as a kid, I was obsessed, just exactly what you said. I was obsessed with Star Wars, but way before that, I was obsessed with Planet of the Apes. I wanted to be an ape. And, you know, I used to, all that John Chambers makeup that he put on with the prosthetics, I was always upset because you could buy a mask, but your mouth wouldn't make it open and close the way that thing does. And then when I saw Rise, the thing about it was I felt like, wow, all those years I wanted to be an ape, but watching Rise really made me an ape. And the way that happened was because of what Rupert and Andy and Weta did, which was to make you completely connect to who Caesar was. I wasn't an ape physically, I was an ape emotionally, and that blew me away. And to me, that was the thing that I really wanted to carry forward, was just to really honor what they had done and carry it into a new story. And so what the story that we wanted to do was to do a Caesar-centric story, a story that starts in the world of apes, basically a story that makes you all apes. And the thing that we wanted to do was make that sort of work on a sort of grander scale, because of, you know, as fans of the movie know, when that movie ended, there was sort of a viral apocalypse, which was about to begin. And we all know that this story is a sort of reboot of something that goes along a trajectory to that film from 1968, which is not Planet of the Humans and Apes, but Planet of the Apes.
Sure.
And so this was really about how we were going to get there. And for me, that was really the exciting challenge, was like, how can we take forward what Andy had done and basically bring in humans that were worthy of that story too, and tell a story, hopefully, that will engage you emotionally the way that they did so beautifully in Rise. We have the incredible Jason Clarke. We have the wonderful Kerry Russell.
Woo!
And speaking of apes, we have the amazing Andy Serkis.
Andy!
One of the biggest challenges of this movie is obviously taking Caesar from, you know, in the last film, Rise, you saw him grow, or I had the chance to play him growing from an infant ape all the way through to a revolutionary leader. And now I was given the task of becoming a leader with responsibility who has evolved this society of 2,000 apes and trying to hold them together, try and bring some of the humanity that he grew up with as an ape, to try and inject that into the society so that it was a peaceful, egalitarian one. So really, Caesar is now in a position where all apes together are strong, and he has this, not only is he 10 years older, he's a mature leader, he's a peaceful leader, he's also a father, he has a teenage son, he has a wife, an infant baby, and he has a council of apes, and then into which the humans arrive. And it's all about really how the choices are in the reaction to the arrival of the humans and how Caesar copes with that. It was, and throughout the course of the movie, we see Caesar this time round, as well as all of the other apes, learning how to communicate, and to communicate not just with ape vocalizations, but with words, with sign language that he was taught as an infant, and with just ape gestures and so on. And so it's a very rich, not only for Caesar, but for the ape clan, it's a very rich and fertile ground for exploring not only the inner ape, but of course reflecting a lot about humanity.
The entry point, what did you see as sort of the entry point to this film? What is it that most connected with you about your character, or maybe about the story?
I'm here because of Matt Reeves. and just really Matt's sensibility in taking this story on. And I feel like he's really created a world of these two communities to sort of survive. And each community is just independently trying to protect their own families and survive. And that was really my entry point and focus in the story.
Fantastic. So Jason, you know, with you and I were just talking backstage about the way that the action is done in this one. You know, in the first film, Andy's performance certainly solidified what could be done with the motion capture, performance capture technology, and this film has a lot more of that, and it affects the choices made. And you were talking about some of the things that you were most excited about seeing some of the action.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's the great sexy Andy Serkis leading the way, and then to Matt and Fox's credit, they've gone and hired Cirque du Soleil guys, parkour guys, so you're not just going to be seeing a CGI ape leap across the screen. You're seeing incredible athletes who are inhabiting these simians, really doing these live stunts that are motion captured. And then you're going to, see the body put on top of that. And I tell you, it's extraordinary to watch there every single day as these guys, leap off tall buildings and bounce in front of you and growl around and drag you through the mud and in the end we all just want to find our inner ape.
Before we go to the footage, is there, when you think about where this film is going and then, put the franchise beyond it, having that finish line, does that help? Or is that an extra challenge?
You mean knowing where the Planet of the Apes, you mean the 68 film, knowing that that's the... To me, it helps. And the reason that it helps is, I once had in film school, I remember I had a teacher who would talk about story. And there are stories that are about what happened. And then there are stories where you know what happened and it's about why. And what's exciting to me is that this story, we know where it goes. So the question is, how do we get there? And that's all about psychology. And what's so great about the Apes franchise is that it's really about us. We talk about, the apes, they're the animals. Well, we're the animals. And it's really a way for us to look at our nature. So without getting lofty about it, that's what I think is so cool about it. And the movie is really about character and psychology. And that's what's so brilliant about what Andy did in the first movie and why we have these guys in this movie, because it's really about who are these characters and how do we get from A to Z. And it's that journey and the how and the why that really draws me in.
Yeah.
And of course, all we'd want to do is show you apes and apes and apes and apes and apes. But here's the crazy thing, which I've discovered in working with Weta. It takes 10 to 12 weeks to create one ape shot. So what we have here for you here today is a tease. It's exciting for us because, we've been in a bubble shooting this movie that we care passionately about for the last 5 months, and nobody's seen anything. And so I can't promise a lot of ape shots, but I can promise you a little tease, and we're pretty excited about it. So
I guess you have to be careful when you say ape shot, because I was like, what did he say?
Ape shots.
Ape shots.
Meaning a shot with apes.